And so with that in mind, do you think Trump, he's ahead in the polls, do you think he can get elected?
Well, yes, he can get elected. Yeah. I'll give you an example. In 2019, the system was totally rigged. I mean, they canceled our party. I mean, we were running with a party, and they canceled it. I mean, they annulled our party. So I was partyless. So we went to a small party and said, you don't have any candidates, you're very small, do you want to win the election? So we got that party registration, and they canceled that party. Yeah. And they canceled that party in the last day that you can file the candidacies. So we got a medium-sized party at 11 p.m. and we were able to file our candidacy. So it was not like it was easy or the system wasn't rigged. It was just so fair that we put up our proposals and the people just voted. It was very hard to win. And then when we won, since we didn't have simultaneous parliamentary elections, we actually went to the executive branch, totally opposed to the legislative branch and the judicial branch. So they control the Supreme Court, and they control 90% of the legislative body. So I had to veto everything, and they override my vetoes, and they approved over 70 laws that I veto. Yes, and everything that we do, Supreme Court, is unconstitutional. Yeah. So we went to the people and said, we cannot work like this. We need a majority in Congress. We need a huge majority in Congress because we not only need to approve laws, we need to get all these people out. And the only way to get it out democratically and respecting the rules of the system is that if we get a huge, immense majority in Congress, right? Because Congress can fire anybody, even the president.
Yes.
So people gave us the huge majority. And it was hard because they still control the electoral tribunal as of today. That's why our election was recognized by all the countries in the world, because they know the electoral tribunal is controlled by the opposition. Still,
it's the only thing that's controlled.
It's the only thing, and we have lived like that. So that validates and legitimizes everything else. So but the thing is that in 2021, when we went to congressional elections, we carried a supermajority. That they said it was impossible, because the system was designed so you cannot get a supermajority. But we got more than that. And then with that supermajority, there's an article in the Constitution that allows the supermajority in Congress to fire the Supreme Court justices. So our party fired the Supreme Court justices when they got the majority. They fired the Attorney General, which I couldn't. I mean, in the States, the President appoints the Attorney General. Here is Congress. Congress elects the Attorney General, Congress fires the Attorney General. But you need 2/3 of Congress to fire an Attorney General. So we got 75% of Congress.
But you stayed within the rules the whole time.
We have never not respected a single rule. That's also a narrative that they want to, but they cannot point out a single thing that was done by not respecting the rules that were written by them. Because the rules are written by people. It's not like, these rules were, these rules are not given by God. These rules were written by people. But still, we respected all the rules that were written by them. And yeah, we got a... I just saw an interview that the president of Costa Rica gave in Costa Rica, because he came also, like many other world leaders, he came to the inauguration. So they asked him over there in Costa Rica, and they said, but don't you think that Bukele is like doing things that are not within the constitutional limits that he has? And this interview was earlier, and President of Costa Rica said, well, in a soccer game or in a football game, you have the rules and you have the score, right? And the rules are made so the score, will be like that. But sometimes you get a super score in one side, right? So are you angry at the rules or are you angry at the score? because the president of El Salvador, the only thing he can be criticized for is to getting a huge score in his favor with the rules of the game that they lay out for him. So, yes.
But it was enormously disruptive to the people who ran the country before you.
Of course.
Obviously.
Obviously, yeah.
Did you ever worry they would try and put you in jail?
Well, they did. Even when I was president. I mean even already being already in the presidency, they tried to impeach me. They say I wasn't. There's an article in the Constitution that says Congress can actually fire the president if he's not fit to lead. So they say that I wasn't fit to lead, and they tried to impeach me because of that. But there was such a. I mean, the people were like, they feared that the people would like, you know.
So what advice
rise up against them or something?
Well, it's a fair concern given your majority.
Exactly.
What advice would you give to another former democratically elected leader seeking office who is facing jail time? Anyone, just if there was.
I mean, if there was a way to stop the candidacy, then he's probably in trouble. But if there's no way to stop him from competing in the election, all the things that they do to him will just give him more votes.
That seems to be happening.
Yes, I mean, either you stop the candidacy, or you let him be. But just hitting him with you're making the greatest campaign ever. I mean,
do you think they know that?
Some of them, I think some of them do, but of course the ones that don't, or they think that that's the problem with endogamous groups, right? Because they all we're so great, let's do it, and they're making a huge mistake. Huge mistake.
If you're a country like El Salvador, or really any other country in the hemisphere, including Canada, your eyes are on the United States because it's the dominant power.
Yes,
obviously. But it puts you in a weird position if you're being criticized from the United States. So there's a congressman from Massachusetts, a pro-communist congressman called Jim McGovern, literally pro-communist, not an attack, just an observation, who attacked you the other day for daring to move a painting of Oscar Romero, who's a Catholic priest who was murdered here more than 40 years ago, in your airport, I think?
Yeah.
What did you make of that? It seemed like a pretty minute criticism, pretty small.
Yes, and we actually moved it to a nicer place in front. It's not like, we moved it from a very nice place and we put it in some warehouse, or whatever, some place that nobody.
But what if you did? It's your country, no?
Well, of course, but but you can make the case as an art connoisseur that he didn't like, the place we put the painting. But the fact that he protested or he expressed his concern, his deep concern, on Twitter and not, call. If he would have called here and said, "Hey, do you move the painting?" They would have thought, "No, it's right here, Mr. Congressman." So of course he can even come and see it for himself. But of course he was doing an attack, right? So, but it backfired because first the painting was right in front, so just to move the camera, it was on the other side. So it was he misfired, but also the fact that a U.S. congressman is trying to micromanage where art is being displayed in another country, just gives you an example of how out of touch they are.
Feels like colonialism to me a little bit.
Yes, and it comes from the Democratic Party, which you would guess.
The anti-colonial party.
Yes, but at the end it's like sometimes the guy that's called racist is not really the racist, right? Or the guy that is called the colonialist is not really the colonialist, right? Sometimes it's weird how narratives work sometimes.
Are you getting a lot of Americans moving here?
Yes. I mean, probably in numbers it won't be significant to you, but yes, you can see it. I mean, you can see it everywhere. And we're also getting something that's very meaningful to us, is that we're getting a lot of our diaspora a lot of our immigrants, the people that emigrate El Salvador because of the war, or because of the gangs, or because of the economical issues that have always happened here, a lot of them are coming back. And there's a study made at the IOM and USAID. Sorry, I'll send you the link.
Yes.
There's a study made by the IOM and the USAID that says that 62% of Salvadorans living in the United States want to come back to live here.
Amazing.
62%. And 18% are already making plans to come. That's over 500,000 Salvadorans coming back. So that's super significant because, I mean, we expelled them from their homes, right? Because of crime, because of a war, because of lack of opportunities. And the fact that they're coming back is the biggest proof that we're doing things the right way. We have a long way to go, but we're doing things the right way.
So after...
So we have a lot of Americans, American-born Americans coming, but we have also a lot of Salvadoran Americans with American citizenships coming here.
Do you have the space?
Well, it has created a housing bubble because, you know, we don't produce as much houses that are being bought right now, but that would create a temporary problem, which is the housing bubble. But then, which is not actually a bubble, it's just, you know, the offer and...
Yes,
you know,
finding its own level, yeah.
So now, of course, construction companies know that the amount of houses they will build, they will sell them. So construction has become 20% of our GDP, and it's growing. So this is going to be a huge construction boom, and they have the clients, so it's not built in a bubble or speculation, but it feels like a bubble, but it's built on, you know, people coming back home.
Has any other head of state called you for advice on how to improve this country?
Yes. Yeah, several. Some of them have said it in public, of course, and we have meetings, mostly security issues. We're talking with a lot of Latin American leaders. They have come, they have sent their security ministers to meet here with our security ministers. They have sent people to see our jail system. Because sometimes people see our jail system and they try to compare to the United States jail system. And say, oh, look, they don't have gyms, they don't have Netflix. You know, but you shouldn't compare El Salvador's jail system with the US jail system. You should compare El Salvador's jail system with Latin American jail systems. So if you go and see most of Latin American countries, the jails are run by the gangs.
Yes, as they were here, I remember that.
Yes, they run. They had parties, prostitutes, strippers.
It was
drugs.
autonomous here. I mean, you had to get their permission to go in.
Yes, you have to get the permission to go in. They only have permission to get in food, medicine, but they control the jails. Not only in El Salvador, they do it in most of the Latin American countries. So gangsters or narcos, they will control the jails, right? It's their operation. They even go out and back and get back. Yes. So we totally control that. And we have 100% control in our jail system. So Latin American countries look to our jail system and to see if they can fix their own. So we do a lot of cooperation in security issues, jails, army, training.
Do you know of
even more powerful in bigger countries? Of course, in Latin America.
Have you ever, you know, a lot of heads of state, because you are one, have you ever met a head of state who, when faced with a serious problem, a threat to his own country, would, in the middle of a cabinet meeting, pause and say a prayer?
I don't recall, but yeah, probably.
But do you know anyone who would do that, do you think?
Yes, probably. I don't recall right now, but
but that's just so far from the mindset of any leader I've ever interviewed. Anyone who would admit, I'm not sure what to do, let's ask God. Probably not that common, but yeah, I would guess some leaders do it. How long do you plan to stay president?
Yeah, 5 years. 5 years. That's as much as the Constitution allows me to.
Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you, Tucker.